The baseball world was rocked by an unexpected moment that nobody saw coming. Shohei Ohtani, the Japanese superstar who rarely engages in political or controversial topics, suddenly made headlines for his interaction with former President Donald Trump. What made this situation even more remarkable was that it all stemmed from a joke Trump had made about Ohtani nearly a year ago. The encounter between these two high-profile figures took a surprising turn when Trump displayed an unusual level of respect toward the Dodgers slugger, leaving American media outlets scrambling to analyze what had just transpired. The moment was captured on camera and immediately went viral, sparking intense debate across the nation. When news first broke about this unexpected interaction, sports journalists and political commentators alike were left puzzled. What exactly did Trump say about Ohtani a year ago? How did the typically reserved Japanese athlete respond? And why did this encounter cause such a massive stir in American media? Many people couldn't help but wonder what made this particular moment so significant that it dominated news cycles across multiple networks. The answers to these questions would reveal a fascinating story of mutual respect, cultural understanding, and a surprising connection between two seemingly different worlds. To understand the full context, we must go back approximately 1 year to when Donald Trump first mentioned Shohei Ohtani during a public appearance. According to reports from that time, Trump was speaking at a rally when he made a comment about baseball and international players. In his characteristic style, Trump joked about Ohtani's unique situation as both a pitcher and hitter, saying something along the lines of, "This Japanese guy, Ohtani, they say he can do everything. Well, let me tell you, I've done everything too, and I did it better. But seriously, he's tremendous, really tremendous. Maybe the best ever, who knows?" The crowd had laughed at Trump's typical self-promotional humor mixed with his compliment. At the time, the comment received minimal attention and seemed like just another passing remark from the former president. However, what nobody expected was that Shohei Ohtani had actually heard about this comment and remembered it. According to sources close to the Dodgers organization, Ohtani was shown the clip by some of his teammates shortly after it happened. While many wondered how the humble Japanese star would react to being mentioned in Trump's speech, Ohtani reportedly just smiled and didn't make any public comment about it. Those who know Ohtani well said this was typical of his character. He rarely responds to outside noise and prefers to let his performance on the field do the talking. Little did anyone know that this moment would resurface in the most unexpected way nearly a year later. The surprising encounter took place at a high-profile charity event in Los Angeles that both Ohtani and Trump were attending. According to eyewitnesses at the venue, the atmosphere was already electric with celebrities, athletes, and political figures mingling throughout the evening. When word spread that both Ohtani and Trump were present at the same event, media personnel immediately began speculating about whether the two would interact. Many assumed that even if they crossed paths, it would be nothing more than a brief, polite exchange. Nobody could have predicted what was about to unfold. Several witnesses reported that Trump was in the middle of a conversation with a group of businessmen when he suddenly noticed Ohtani across the room. According to those present, Trump's face immediately lit up with recognition. He excused himself from his conversation and began walking directly toward the Japanese baseball star. People in the room noticed the movement and the atmosphere suddenly became tense with anticipation. What would Trump say? How would Ohtani respond? Cameras and phones immediately came out as everyone wanted to capture this unexpected moment. As Trump approached, Ohtani, who had been speaking quietly with Dodgers executives, turned to face the former president. What happened next shocked everyone in attendance. According to multiple witnesses, Trump extended his hand for a handshake, but then did something completely out of character. Instead of his typical firm, dominant handshake that he's famous for, Trump bowed slightly toward Ohtani in what appeared to be an attempt at a respectful Japanese greeting. The room fell silent as people processed what they were seeing. A seasoned political journalist who was present later said that in all his years of covering Trump, he had never witnessed the former president bow to anyone. This gesture alone was enough to cause a stir, but what came next was even more remarkable. Trump, speaking loudly enough for those nearby to hear, reportedly said, "Shohei. The greatest baseball player I've ever seen, maybe in history. You know, I made a joke about you last year, said I could do what you do, but better. But honestly, what you do is incredible. Nobody can do what you do. I watch you play and it's like, how is this even possible? You're making America's pastime great again. The people surrounding them couldn't believe what they were hearing. Trump, known for his supreme confidence and rarely admitting anyone is better than him at anything, was showering Ohtani with unreserved praise. What happened next became the most talked about moment of the entire evening. According to witnesses, Ohtani smiled warmly and responded through his interpreter, but then surprised everyone by speaking directly in English. Sources reported that Ohtani said, "Mr. President, thank you for your kind words. I heard about your joke from last year. It was very funny. You have entertained millions of people, and I only try to entertain baseball fans. We both do our best in different ways." The humility and grace in Ohtani's response, combined with his acknowledgement of Trump's comment from a year ago, left people around them visibly moved. A prominent sports journalist who witnessed the exchange reported that Trump appeared genuinely taken aback by Ohtani's thoughtful response. The former president, rarely at a loss for words, paused for a moment before responding. According to multiple accounts, Trump then placed his hand on Ohtani's shoulder and said something that stunned everyone present. "You know what, Shohei? You're a class act. Real class. The way you carry yourself, the respect you show, that's what makes you special. Not just the home runs, not just the pitching, but this. This right here. America is lucky to have you." Witnesses reported that Trump's tone was markedly different from his usual bombastic style. It was genuine, warm, and respectful. The interaction continued for several more minutes, with Trump asking Ohtani about his training regimen, his recovery from surgery, and his goals for the upcoming season. Sources close to both men revealed that Trump seemed genuinely interested in Ohtani's responses and listened attentively rather than dominating the conversation as he typically does. At one point, Trump reportedly joked, "You know, if I was 30 years younger and could throw a baseball, maybe we'd have some competition. But I'm smart enough to know when I'm beaten. You're the real deal, Shohei." Ohtani responded with a humble smile and another respectful bow, thanking Trump for his support of baseball. As the conversation concluded, photographers captured Trump and Ohtani shaking hands again, this time with both men smiling genuinely. According to eyewitnesses, before parting ways, Trump leaned in and said something quietly to Ohtani that only those immediately nearby could hear. A source who was close enough reported that Trump said, "You represent your country with real dignity and honor. That means something. That means a lot." Ohtani reportedly responded, "Thank you, Mr. President. You are very kind. I am grateful for the opportunity to play baseball in this great country." The immediate aftermath of this encounter sent shockwaves through American media. Within hours, video clips and photos of the interaction had spread across every major news network and social media platform. Political commentators, sports analysts, and cultural experts all weighed in on what had transpired. Many noted that Trump's unusually respectful demeanor toward Ohtani was significant and possibly unprecedented. CNN ran a segment titled, "Trump's Surprising Show of Respect to Baseball's Japanese Superstar." Fox News featured analysis discussing "a moment of unity, Trump and Ohtani's mutual admiration." ESPN dedicated extensive coverage to examining how Ohtani's humble response had apparently earned Trump's genuine respect. Political analysts offered various interpretations of the encounter. Some suggested that Trump's respect for Ohtani demonstrated his genuine appreciation for excellence and achievement, regardless of nationality. Others pointed out that Ohtani's non-political, purely respectful approach had disarmed Trump in a way that few people ever managed to do. Cultural commentators noted that the interaction showcased a beautiful example of cross-cultural respect, with Trump attempting a Japanese-style greeting and Ohtani responding with grace and humility. Sports media was equally captivated by the moment. Major League Baseball analysts discussed how Ohtani continues to transcend sports and become a cultural ambassador. His ability to navigate a potentially awkward situation with such grace while remaining true to his humble character earned him even more admiration from fans and commentators alike. Many pointed out that Ohtani's acknowledgement of Trump's year-old joke showed that he pays attention and has a good sense of humor, qualities that make him even more relatable despite his superhuman abilities on the field. Social media exploded with reactions from people across the political and cultural spectrum. Baseball fans praised Ohtani for handling the situation perfectly. Political observers debated the significance of Trump's respectful approach. Many users commented that in today's deeply divided climate, witnessing a moment of genuine mutual respect between two high-profile figures from different worlds was refreshing and inspiring. The hashtag #TrumpOhtani began trending nationally, with millions of people sharing their thoughts on the unexpected encounter. Several prominent sports journalists wrote detailed pieces analyzing the interaction. One well-known baseball writer noted that Ohtani's response to Trump perfectly embodied the Japanese concept of harmony and respectful relationships. The writer suggested that Ohtani's ability to acknowledge Trump's joke from a year ago without any hint of offense or ego demonstrated remarkable emotional intelligence and cultural grace. Another journalist focused on Trump's unusual display of humility, suggesting that Ohtani's genuine excellence and humble character had earned the kind of respect from Trump that few people ever receive. In the days following the encounter, both Trump and representatives for Ohtani were asked about the interaction. Trump, speaking to reporters, doubled down on his praise for the Japanese superstar. Shohei Ohtani is something special, really special. Not just as a player, but as a person. You can tell. I've met a lot of people, a lot of important people, and I can always tell who has that special quality. Ohtani has it. He's a winner, and he's humble about it. That's rare. That's very rare. When asked about his attempt at a bow, Trump laughed and said, "I wanted to show respect. He deserves respect. Great player, great person, represents Japan beautifully. Sometimes you have to recognize greatness when you see it." Ohtani, speaking through his interpreter at a Dodgers press conference, was characteristically humble about the encounter. "It was an honor to meet President Trump. He was very kind to me. I appreciated his comments about my play. I always try to show respect to everyone I meet, regardless of who they are. That is how I was raised. I am grateful for all the support I receive in America." When asked specifically about remembering Trump's joke from a year ago, Ohtani smiled and said, "Yes, my teammates showed me that clip. It was funny. President Trump is an entertaining speaker. I took no offense. I understood it was said with humor." The encounter between Shohei Ohtani and Donald Trump ultimately became more than just a viral moment, it became a talking point about respect, humility, and the power of genuine character to transcend political and cultural divides. American media continued to analyze and discuss the interaction for days, with many concluding that both men had demonstrated admirable qualities in their exchange. Thank you for watching. What are your thoughts on this remarkable interaction between Shohei Ohtani and Donald Trump? Do you think Ohtani's humble character earned Trump's unusual display of respect? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories and up-to-date information about the world of baseball and beyond.